Check him out.
You got it. All right, Jerry. Check. Michael?
Hello, hello.
A little closer.
A little closer? Better? All right.
I can't imagine your voice is going to be too low. I can't imagine your voice is going to be too low.
Yeah, right. So
I wouldn't think that's ever been an issue for you.
It really is pretty close. You got to get right up in there.
Well, and the big thing is that for you, this one's not, but those are directional. So if if you're talking like this, it really is not picking it up.
Got it.
You gotta speak into it.
Okay.
So that's the only thing, and you can move it around all you want.
Fair enough.
Is your wife going to the dinner tonight? The installation?
What's that?
Your wife going to the installation, or?
We'll see. So she's now working at Tiffany's, and so tonight may be a conflict. So we'll see. She was trying to, but we'll see. We need to coordinate that.
Do you want any water, or you good?
Nah, it should be good.
We'll have time at the breaks if you want some. So. All right.
So what are your Super Bowl plans?
I think I'm just gonna hang out at home.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything planned. How about you?
Don't know. May get together with like my cousin and his family, but nothing big.
Do you have a team you're rooting for, one way or the other?
I'm gonna root for the Rams just for the heck of it.
Me too. I'm not a big. I should say I'm not a Patriots fan pretty much at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty impressive what they've done over the years. So I appreciate that.
Oh, 100%.
The fact that they've continued their excellence, but I sure would like to see someone else with.
I'm a fan of Teddy Bruschi, so I mean he's obviously a Roseville guy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's always kind of fun in that regard to root for them, but
Right.
yeah, the Rams, somebody new.
Yeah.
Haven't been there in, 25 years, something like that.
It's been a while. Last time was against the Patriots, right? Or was it?
I think you're right, actually. Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, when Kurt Warner.
We're dating ourselves.
Yeah. And then Jerry will flash fingers to me, which then I'll relay to you as we're closer to commercial break. So
Okay.
that'll be how many minutes are left. Yeah, it'd be fun to see the Rams take it. So we'll see.
So Goff, he wears 16 because his hero growing up was Joe Montana.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then Sean McVay's dad was one of the principal architects that worked with Carmen Policy
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah. And are you a 49er fan?
Big time 49
Big time.
fan.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
you like that legacy.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the one hand, it's hard to root for either of these teams, but it is what it is.
Right? The divisional foe.
Yeah.
It's like I would have a hard time, because I'm a Broncos fan, so I've been forever. And I'd have a very hard time rooting for
The Raiders.
Or the Chiefs. It was really hard to not root for to root against Kansas City 2 weeks ago, but
Yeah.
I would rather see them win than New England. So divisional foes is tough, but
What else was I going to ask you? Have you been down to LA recently? Have you seen the stadium that they're building there?
no, huh?
It's stunning.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, and so kind of like
Carson? No, Carson's where they're.
it's by Carson. It's what is it? It's Inglewood. And,
Okay,
And
cool.
so it's just east of the airport, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But you just see all the cranes and you see the big old hole in the ground. But,
Right.
I mean, it's going to be a massive city.
Impressive.
So it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like in 2 years.
Are they going to do a lot around it, kind of like they did with LA Live?
Yeah. So LA Live, there was nothing out there.
Yeah.
And so it'll be curious to see what happens. But yeah, they're clearly going for that play. They were able to buy up a bunch of land cheap, and it's a large footprint.
It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they can make a go of it again. Team in LA.
Yeah.
Crazy how that landscape has changed so much. Pro football.
100%.
Right?
Just sports in general.
Yeah.
Live entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as a kid, I thought, oh, it'd be fun to be I'm a Padre fan too. I'm going to San Diego. It'd be great to own the Padres someday. Back when you could buy a franchise for $1 million or $2 million, right?
Yeah.
Now that's way out of the picture for me, unless I hit the lottery. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers on Monday 1055. This is your weekly business talk show, Beyond the Numbers. I'm the host, Mark Bellows. I'm a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen. CLA is a national firm and offices throughout the U.S., and I'm in the Roseville office. I'm a tax guy, and this is the commercial. We made that commercial lead in a couple of years ago because this is actually my 30th tax season I'm approaching, so getting older every year, like everyone else. But I work with real estate investors and developers, manufacturers, distributors, contractors and subcontractors, all those types of businesses, their owners, that sort of thing, tax planning, tax strategy. So that's my area, and then I do this show on a weekly basis, bring in various SAC and regional leaders in various fields of business, kind of get their story, if you will, kind of what it is that what their why, kind of get to their why, and then how to become successful and what they're about. So it's really, I enjoy doing this show on a weekly basis, but it's been doing this about 5 years. So one of the things that that CLA really emphasizes is for us to create opportunities with our people and with our clients, and then in our communities. And so one of the things that I've been doing, I've believed in for a long time, is being involved in the community. And I started years ago, gosh, I don't know, 15 years ago now, on the board of an organization in Sacramento called Diogenes, which was outreach to homeless and at-risk youth. And was able to be on board and work with them for a couple of years. And then maybe in a CPA, typically the place I always want to stick me is a treasurer on the finance committee or something like that. So that tends to be my role often because I have a lot of experience in that area. And helped Diogenes in that area. And then about 7 years ago or so, 8 years ago, I got involved with United Cerebral Palsy here in Sacramento, UCP in Sacramento, Northern California. So it was, when the foundation was started, they started a foundation, and I've been involved in that as a trustee ever since, and I'm currently serving as the chair of the trustees of that. And then a couple years ago, got on the organizational board. And so UCP is a fantastic organization in town, and they do a lot for not just cerebral palsy, but actually a lot of their work is with kids with autism, and so they do a lot with autism and cerebral palsy, and have lots of respite daycare type stuff. So great organization, glad to be involved, happy to give my time to helping them structure things and plan and that sort of thing, fundraise, etc. And then another thing I started doing 9 years ago, actually this is my 9th year, but 9 years ago I was at a Starbucks there in Roseville and saw a flyer for Shave Your Head as a fundraiser for St. Baldrick's, and I thought, my hair will grow back, why not do that? So I started doing that, and this will be my 9th year of doing that, and our shave event in Roseville is coming up March 2nd, I believe. It's a for Saturday, March. And so you can look up Mark Bellows under the St. Baldrick's organization foundation website, and if you want to donate to the cause. And so I've been doing that, like I say, for about 9 years, and what St. Baldrick's does is they raise funds for research and cures into childhood cancers. So it's a great organization, it's a national one, and they raise, want to say hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know if that's annually, but certainly millions, if not more, annually to fund research, including here at UC Davis. They've helped fund one of the researchers there is doing a lot of work into child cancer cures and causes, but cures anyway. And so when I've been doing that, I got involved in that, and then after a couple of years, I got a chance to meet Ann Diamondstone, who was involved, and she was a banker at First Northern Bank. She knew some of the partners at Colina, which is the predecessor to CLA, and then she was on the board of Keaton Raphael Memorial, KRM. And so she convinced me, like she did many other people, to join that board because it's a great organization. And what KRM has now become Keaton's Child Cancer Alliance, KCCA. And what KCCA does, it's based in Roseville, so not-for-profit organization. What they do is they work with the families of children who have been diagnosed with cancer. Because when a child gets a cancer diagnosis, the whole family is affected. And so they work with providing financial support and other types of support to the parents, the siblings, etc. So it can be pretty devastating for all involved when a child gets diagnosed with cancer. So I've been involved with KCCA for, 5 or 6 years or so, and have gotten a chance to work with that great organization, and also get a chance to meet people on the board. And one of the people I met is today's guest. So that's been a very long intro to get to Michael. So my guest today is Michael Wagener, who is the co-founder and president of Marquee Media Solutions.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Mark. It's an incredible opportunity.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, no, 100%. Very excited.
So Marquee Media, I drove in this morning from Roseville and passed at least one billboard that's yours, right?
That is true.
So, yes. And you guys do more than just own billboards.
Yeah, so Marquee Media, well, our core business is digital signage and other forms of that media. We have some traditional billboards as well. But yeah, that is our core business, but what we really try to do as well is just be an active member of the community in numerous ways. And we're blessed to have some incredible artists, for example, on our staff that also help try to get the word out for some, especially for a lot of the nonprofits that we work with. And again, just try to be engaged as much as possible.
That's great. So give us a little bit about your background. How did you get from wherever you went to high school, college, etc., to the point of being co-founding Marquee Media? Yeah,
no, honestly, it's when I was growing up, I never in a million years dreamt that I'd be in this business. It's funny, when I was younger, I wanted to be an architect and, loved doing architectural drawing and tinkering and kind of in my mind and on paper trying to create buildings or legacies that people would drive by and see on a regular basis. Kind of the background in terms of who I am as an entrepreneur is both my parents were community college teachers and extremely supportive of me and my education, and went to a lot of classes, explored different things even through high school and then into college. But my grandfather, my mom's dad, was an entrepreneur and was an LAPD officer for 20 to 25 years, I forget which, and then when he retired, turned his tinkering into a business that supported my family, up until his 80s.
Wow. So that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. So did you grow up down that LA area?
No, I was born and raised in Walnut Creek.
Okay.
And parents were community college teachers there in the Bay Area.
Gotcha.
And but yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
So where'd you go to college?
Went to UC Davis.
Davis? And what was your degree?
History and econ is what I studied.
Okay. And at that point, were you still wanted to be an architect?
At that point, I was thinking politics or law.
Okay.
Was going to be an English major, but I loved history because the debate aspect, crafting an argument and supporting it.
Right.
And so I thought I would probably go, into law school at that point.
Then what did you do?
Kind of fate served, and I stumbled into the home builder sign business. A friend of mine got involved, and that's basically it was kind of fate, but it was just weird. He was responding to an interview, and they needed a handyman. And I said, instead of you working for this company direct, what if you and I were to start a company and then they could subcontract out our service? And what that company ended up doing was building and managing and kind of doing maintenance for all these home builder signs that connected the home buyers from the freeways all the way to the communities that may or may not be, through undeveloped land.
Gotcha. Oh, interesting. We're going to go to commercial break. We're talking today with Michael Wagener, the co-founder and president of Marquee Media Solutions and also a board member on KCCA. You listen to Beyond the Numbers. We'll be right back. Let's see, first quarter done, man. You do right.
Trying to figure out how many more times I can say the word
So this break's short, about a minute.
Okay.
And then the half it's a little bit longer. Turn down the volume.
It's definitely the Reader's Digest version, by the way.
That's all good. We're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on My 105.5. I'm your host of this weekly business talk show, Mark Bellows, tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen. We've got offices throughout, CLA's got offices throughout the U.S., including one in Roseville, which is where I reside. You can get a hold of me at 916-784-7800 or mark.bellows@claconnect.com. And today we are talking with Michael Wagener, the co-founder and president of Marquee Media Solutions. If you want to get a hold of Marquee Media, you can 888-MEDIA-10 if you want to call them, or go to the website Marquee, M-A-R-Q-U-E, marqueemediaus.com. So you and your buddy decided to do the sign business. So this, I'm thinking of envisioning, you know, the signs that say a new home development kind of thing, and you get off freeways, you know, have the signs that point down. Is that kind of what you guys are doing?
It was 100%,
Okay.
and it's again very nuanced. I'd never even heard of it, and but it kind of all of a sudden you see the business behind it and the ideas and the concepts, and it's very similar to what we do now, just on a grander scale.
Right.
Yeah.
So did that grow into eventually Marquee Media?
No, that business was great, but I felt that we had all of our eggs in one basket with the home builders, and so it was very fortuitous when my son was born in 2005. I was kind of doing some life evaluations and decided wanted to kind of go in a different direction, and I was very fortunate to join at that time Clear Channel Outdoor, and it was before the recession. And so then all of a sudden the recession hits, and obviously I felt very fortuitous. And with that downturn in the economy, ended up getting creative and coming up with some ways to do some public-private partnerships with municipalities that would embrace some new technology with digital signs that are now, you know, kind of out there. But at the time, you know, there hadn't been any in Sacramento. The first one was built at Sac State out at sea. I think that was 2008, and so it was just perfect timing, lightning in a bottle.
So I'm envisioning driving down, Riverside or something like that. Some of these places where you go and you'll see like, or maybe Hazel or Sunrise, whatever, where you see the Orangeville Community Center and they've got a sign, or you see some other things. Is that part of what you guys were working on, is getting those things going?
No,
Digital signs, signage is what I'm thinking.
Well, those are digital elements, but in terms of the out-of-home media, it didn't really catch on until I'd say, the late 2005 or so is when you started seeing digital signs pop up along the freeways for advertisers.
Right.
And the reason for it is just the technology had to come to a certain level of quality before any advertiser would go for it.
Right.
I'll give you an example, like Coca-Cola is very proud of their PMS color of red. If you can't accurately produce that PMS color of red, they're not going to spend their money on media for
Sure,
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So you guys, when did you start Marquee Media?
So Marquee Media started in 2014.
14, okay. And do you guys own some billboards?
We do. So
Is that billboard the right word?
you're fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, it's probably an old term. But that's, you do more than just own those, though. I mean, you guys are more than just owning the signs. What else? Tell us what else you guys do.
Well, that is definitely our core business,
Okay.
and so we our core business is we try to build and manage. You know, the word marquee we use for a reason. You know, marquee signage and marquee locations using state-of-the-art technology.
Right.
Our first project that we did was at the Folsom Auto Mall, and
Okay.
one of the reasons they had an old sign that had been built 10 years prior, but for a variety of reasons had run into disrepair. We We fully rebuilt that sign, redid all the cladding, and our mission with that particular sign, and again going back to my architecture dreams, was to create something that would be a monument, a gateway into Folsom, be aesthetically pleasing, use architectural elements, and have a function where it is supported the Auto Mall and their business, as well as other local businesses in the community.
Right.
And then lastly, serve as truly a message center for the community as well.
Gotcha. So on that one, for instance, they don't just talk about the Folsom Auto Mall, they also talk about the community of Folsom. They don't advertise ads or...
Yeah, no, it's an incredible platform. So with the digital technology, in the old days with the billboards, it would take 4 weeks or more for production. Heck, back in the day, they used to even paint them. And so the cost of production and install was through the roof.
Yeah.
With digital now, if you have limitless creative potential with any creative that you want to put up there could promote at really no cost if the space is available. And so we've had some fun with it. Folsom has had an incredible football program for many years. And, I would say won their championships or even leading up to the championship game. We've been able to say, hey, good luck Bulldogs and congratulations, and even live score updates. So it's been fun. It's been a real blessing. And then last but not least, you and I obviously met in the nonprofit world. What I've really loved is now you take a product that previously had been used almost solely for commercial purposes in terms of traditional billboards because of the cost of production and install.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden it's an incredible platform that can be used for the community, for nonprofits, raising awareness of things that people probably haven't even ever heard of.
So who programs the Folsom one?
We do.
Your organization? Okay.
Yeah, so
you could program in the real-time scores, you could program in, or use it, tie into a feed or something.
Yes, so we have several incredible artists that we work with, and so they will do creatives that help, capture topical events. I remember when Russ Solomon passed, he obviously was an inspiration to many in this town, Sacramento, and we felt, we wanted to say something, so we put something up, in memory as a tribute to Russ Solomon. And
right.
I remember distinctly the picture. It's funny, the artists that works for us, Josh Ficklin and Christian Koska, they both do incredible work. They came up with a concept of, forget Russ in his older age. What about the early Russ when he was first starting out? The bell bottoms, the satin shirts, and all that stuff. Yeah. Open to the navel, and it was great, and it really captured the essence, I think, of this man, and we were able to, kind of recognize him, with speed. And some people found out that he had passed as a result of that. And we tried to do little things like that, just again keep it topical.
Yeah. So you've got the Folsom Auto Mall. You have the Roseville one as well?
We do not. No,
okay,
you have
something in Roseville, though, right?
We have not in Roseville.
Okay.
We have quite a few signs throughout Sacramento.
Okay.
We were blessed to do a partnership with the Sacramento Kings. I think that they liked what we were doing, and we created again a true partnership with them, where we help support their sponsors, but we also help manage all these signs for them and raise money and sponsorships and things like that. And it's been nice. It's been a great partnership.
So, Coca-Cola, the red.
Yeah.
If Coca-Cola wanted to place an ad with you guys, have they developed the red that they can send to you, or do your artists have to come up with it? How does that work?
Great question. A lot of the big brands, they have probably 3 different agencies that are designing that creative, all based on science and the message that they're trying to. So we work with a lot of agencies that will provide us the creative. Some of our local advertisers do rely on our creative services for the creation of those ads.
Right. But
it's a blend of both.
Okay. And so, how many billboards do you guys have? Marquees do you have?
Yeah, we have 6 digital signs in the Sacramento market. We actually recently expanded down to Los Angeles. Our first sign went live middle of last year, and we were blessed to also just sign an agreement, a partnership with the Los Angeles Football Club down there, which has a brand new state-of-the-art stadium for professional soccer on the USC campus, which is stunning. And there's quite a few signs associated with that stadium experience. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And then we have a handful of traditional billboards as well.
Oh, okay. And are any of those painted anymore? Or is it always like something that's printed and affixed somehow?
Typically, it's printed and then affixed. Okay. But you'd be surprised. There's still hand-painted billboards out there.
Are any in our market?
Not that I could think of in Sacramento.
So the ones you guys have or control are printed and put on.
Yes.
Do you rent those or rent that for like a month at a time, or how does that work? How does it work for you guys? On the printed ones.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to be up there for less than a month, again, that cost of production and install makes it a little prohibitive.
Gotcha. So multiple, or a month at least.
That's what I would do.
Whereas digital, again, you can change that up and it does change every, how often?
Well,
30 seconds, minute? I'm trying to think like the display.
Each ad is up there for about 8 seconds and then rotates
8 seconds.
so that you're up every minute. And so if you're driving in traffic, you know, that's kind of the standard now across the country, where you'll see several rotations, you know, as you drive by a sign, opposed to just being fixated on one.
Yeah, that's interesting. So how big is Marquee Media? How many people do you have? How many employees?
We use a lot of subcontractors, and we have a small team, boutique.
And you guys are headquartered in Roseville or Sacramento? Sacramento.
We are now headquartered in Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started in Roseville and moved downtown about a year ago. But yeah, we have a large group of people that we work with, but we try to stay lean and nimble, and so we're fortunate to have some partnerships in various cities throughout the country that assist from a sales aspect, and then locally we try to keep it pretty boutique and lean and mean, so see what happens.
What have you seen changes in the industry over the last couple of years?
It's a great question. The technology has definitely opened some doors where the people are now viewing digital signs as a true message center for the community if operated the right way. And I'd say that's probably been the biggest change agent. You know, in the past, for example, in Roseville, there's only a couple billboards, and so really, if you were a local business, your opportunity of even doing a billboard were slim to none, because there's only 4 available, let's say, or 6 or whatever. And they would go to the biggest companies for the highest dollar, and the cost barrier was high. Now, if I'm a small company and I want to advertise on a digital sign, I can buy whatever space, you know, fraction, a week, a weekend, you know, a month, to fit my budget and get some exposure in a way that, you know, most people haven't been able to in the past. So the other benefit from a community aspect is, again, with a lot of these public-private partnerships, they're realizing that it can be a voice for the community as well. So many different things associated with that, but for example, park cleanup days, there was a campaign that was actually done several years ago to raise funds for public pools in Sacramento, and the campaign ended up raising over $1 million and helped keep, I believe it was 5 or 7 public pools open in Sacramento at a time when the city was kind of struggling. And so it was just a creative way that, again, could be used.
Can you program multiple, or can you run the same thing on multiple displays at a time, or is each one specific?
Yes. No, we can do it both ways. So everything can be unique, or everything can be all linked.
Okay.
So I think there's advantages to both.
But that would, I would suppose, be dependent on the actual sign itself. How, you know, if you've got one that's Gen 2 and another that's Gen 3 or whatever, I think the Gen 3 is going to be more advanced, maybe more pixels or whatever the terminology you would use in that. So that would change, right? Is that correct?
That is correct, but I will say, so it just makes it more cumbersome from a programming standpoint.
Yeah.
It's everything is possible. We have multiple softwares that we work with already, but everything is possible. So it's just one may be more cumbersome if it's generation 1 versus 2. So.
Right. So did you guys develop the King's purple color, or did they give it to you?
Oh no, they have some incredible artists and branding, and yeah, it's funny, their new logo, it came out right around the time of our partnership. They did a great job, brilliant job on their logos, I should say, quite a few.
Nice. And so you guys are able to put those on on the signage. And
they've used it quite well. Yeah, it's funny when William Bagley III, Marvin Bagley III, when he was first drafted and came into Sacramento, we were able to work with the Kings team and kind of program the signs that lead from the airport into downtown, and so he's able to see his name in bright lights and, you know, welcoming him to Sacramento, and that was fun. There's a lot of creative things that we've been able to do with their creative staff and their team, and it's been fun.
That's great. Sounds like a good partnership for both of you.
It's been fun. It's been great.
All right, we're going to continue the conversation with Michael Wagener, the co-founder and president of Marquee Media. When we get back from commercial, listen down the numbers.
tonight, right?
Yeah.
He's incredible, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah, I really like that guy. He's the Kings have really done a great job of getting significantly more speed and just athleticism. And
Good.
so you have all these young guys that are playing fast and just wearing teams out by the fourth quarter.
Well,
It's been
I've
really fun to
noticed
see.
it had a number of fourth quarter comebacks and strong fourth quarter performances. So
I've enjoyed it. I've definitely enjoyed it. We've gone to several games this year, and it's been a fun team to watch and root for.
nice. Yeah, it'll be fun to see him tonight. I think I went to one game last year, so I don't get to a lot of games, but it'll be fun to see. Does your youngest son like going?
He does. Yeah, we've taken a couple of his friends, to a couple games.
Uh-huh.
He's gone with us. Yeah, he doesn't go to many, but let's see, how many this year? I think he's been to 3 or 4 this year. So we try.
Oh, that's cool. And last year, I think it was last year, we went to, like they had, I think it was like San Diego State and Cal, the first game, and then Sac State and Davis the second game.
Oh yeah,
They
I
had,
remember that.
Yeah, and so we went to that. That was pretty fun. Because I went to San Diego State for my master's, and some friends went to Cal, so it was kind of fun too,
Little rivalry.
Yeah. So.
Now, I know everything's changing, but if they had the NCAA tournament coming through town, it'd be fun if they got that back. The March
That would be
Madness.
fun, yeah. That's probably booked the years out.
It is,
So,
yeah. That is always fun seeing the young play.
Yeah.
They have just tons of energy.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Arco when they had the
I did.
NC2As? Yeah, I went
Yeah.
one time years ago, so that was fun.
Arco was great. I actually took my son, speaking of Jackson, to Arco when we thought the Kings were leaving that last game of the year.
Oh, is that right?
And I remember it was emotional. That was an emotional line.
Yeah.
And the miracle happened.
Right. Yeah. It's been good. It's good for the community. That'll be exciting to get soccer going once if we can get it to MLS to give us a team.
That would be
Yeah.
transformative for that rail yards.
Yeah. Excuse me. That was cold for weeks.
Knock on wood, they must stay healthy.
It's pretty much gone, and then like today the cough has come back. It's like, so annoying. And we're back. Listen Beyond the Numbers. Jerry, that's a different bumper. I haven't heard that one before. This is Mark Bellows, host of this weekly business talk show. I'm a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen. CLA's got offices throughout the U.S. I'm in Roseville. If you want to get a hold of me, it's 916-784-7800 or mark.bellows@claconnect.com. The government's back open and the IRS is back to taking tax returns if you want to file yours. And also, I have got a few different clients that are under audit, and the agents have been calling us this week, so they're back in business as well. So they all took unpaid leave, if you will, for a while, or not paid leave actually. They weren't there for about a month, but now they're back, and so the government's back in business, which means taxes are back in business. So today I'm talking with Michael Wagener, co-founder and president of Marquee Media Solutions. You can go to Marquee Media, MARQUEE, marqueemediaus.com. To get more information on the company, you can also call them at 888-MEDIA-10. And so one of the things we're talking about is community. And so one of the things I know that when you look at the billboards, you'll see community ads. So that's the right word, but community ads for some kind of event coming up. So for instance, in KCCA, we had our gala back in the fall. I think that that was advertised on some billboards.
Yeah.
Right. And that's part of your company mission.
It
to
is.
provide that.
So when we started Marquee, it was life-changing decision. We took a big risk when we decided to take on this venture, and one of the motivating factors, at the time actually was perfect. I torn my Achilles tendon in 2014, actually trying to do one of my New Year's resolutions of being more active.
So how'd you do it? What happened?
No good story, I should say that. I had been running and training, and I wanted to do a marathon that year. But when it actually happened, this is why no good story. I was playing indoor softball in Roseville, and here I am playing softball with people that I felt I was in better physical condition with, and then I go to push off to go towards one ball, and it just snapped. Absolutely snapped. So it laid me up. So I ended up having 4 surgeries that year, and while I was
no marathon.
No marathon. Yeah. I'm just now getting back on my feet and jogging. When I was laid up and you're kind of reevaluating your life, you realize that you kind of become a victim to your bills, your lifestyle, your job, whatever it may be. And not to say that priorities get out of whack, but it was definitely an opportunity for a reset.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky that I had a very supportive family, and my wife had a good career, and so it enabled me to take some risks. And we basically came up with the concept where we wanted to have a balance of business and purpose. My parents had an altruistic profession with community college teaching. I felt that that was lacking in my own life, that balance. And so we made it a mission where we wanted to use the time that we had left and kind of reset and raise our family in a way that we could be more active in the nonprofit, in community, in all of that. So I wanted to be able to coach my son at Little League. I wanted to be able to, work with the organizations that have impacted the people around us and our family directly. And actually, it was during that time my neighbor's daughter was unfortunately suffering from neuroblastoma, which is the same child cancer that afflicted Keaton Raphael of KCCA's origin. And I'd never even heard of neuroblastoma prior to that. A lot of people have heard about breast cancer and obviously pink ribbons and all that. But child cancers really are completely underfunded nationally. And what is more tragic than a child being diagnosed? So I got to see that family supported firsthand by Robin Raphael, the mother of Keaton, and the organization of Keaton's Child Cancer Alliance. And it really made an impact on me. And I said, life is way too short, and what better example that I want to leave for my kids than to show that balance and not just pursuit of money, but but yeah, trying to promote that.
So how many co-founders are there?
So it's Jeff Joaquin and myself.
So you and Jeff, did you work together before this, or? We
had known each other, so we had worked together several years in terms of we both had origins at Clear Channel Outdoor, but then as well, we got to know each other well when he actually went to work for Westfield for a brief bit, and he and I were actually on either side of the table as we were trying to do a partnership with Westfield and Clear Channel Outdoor, and it was very fortuitous. He approached me and we talked about it, and he's somebody that I kind of got to know, but we got to know each other even more through that process. And a very good man, very good sense of family, and that's what you want. I mean, it's a work marriage, and so our stars aligned and our mission aligned, and to me it's been the best decision ever.
So your mission's aligned, and so you guys came into this not just looking to start a business that could make a bunch of money and get out, but to actually have community purpose kind of fulfillment in that respect. So how did you get started, or maybe kind of give us what was your first entree into that business?
Well, it takes a while for a business to get ramped up, and so if anything, all that you have is time. So we, but it was very conscientious, and so you at the beginning are working really hard to be busy, opposed to actually being busy. I say these days we tend to be more busy and have to again stay focused. And so I sought out Keaton's Child Cancer Alliance, and I said I would love to work with this organization and figure out how I could play a small part. And the other thing that resonated with me is I had some concerns about the homelessness issue in this community and other communities. And going back to my roots of supporting home builders, I didn't even realize that there was an organization called Home Aid Sacramento here in town that has a nonprofit arm of the Building Industry Association that helps address dignified housing for the transitional homeless. And they've been around now for 20, 30 years. And here I got my start in this industry, and I'd never even heard of this organization.
Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, it just goes to show that the difficulties with community-based and nonprofit organizations and getting the message out and the word and their purpose out.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that struck me also about this community is the Big Day of Giving that happens every year. And there's over 600 nonprofits that are participating in the Big Day of Giving, 600 in this community. And we've been able to raise as a community over $7 million in one day, for these nonprofits. It just goes to show you that this community truly is philanthropic and is aware and trying to, I think, give a hand up to people that are in need in many different ways. The exposure is just not there, and so I think it's out of sight, out of mind. People assume, oh my gosh, child, cancer. There must be all kinds of federal programs, funds, doctors, social workers, whatever that could deal with that, and then you see it firsthand or intimately, unfortunately, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, there isn't. There, just the network for those families to, work with other families that have had that same diagnosis. It's comforting to be able to deal with people that have like stories, like situations.
Right.
And yeah.
So so Marquee started, and you guys got involved in, for you, Homemade and KCCA.
Yeah, those were definitely two of my passions.
Right.
I still sit on those boards to this day.
Okay. And so what type of stuff does Marquee do to support these organizations, besides letting you give your time?
Yeah.
Supporting you as you give your time, I should say.
Definitely my time is probably the number one asset. We do try to give visibility where we can. Another group actually that I'm very, very proud of that again resonated with us as entrepreneurs, Jeff and myself, is we developed a close relationship with the Downtown Sacramento Partnership, and they have a program called Calling All Dreamers, which basically to help activate new businesses downtown.
Right.
They will have a contest, and the winner will get all kinds of counseling, free rent, and then one of the things that we were able to add to it was how about some free advertising as well.
Okay. Yeah.
And so again, that's really where we've been literally able to apply our billboard business and our message center business to those nonprofits. But where there's a will, there's a way.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's good. I mean, that's again, as you said, I agree with that. I think this community is very philanthropic, both financially and then with people's time as well. And so I think that's important. And I've seen that, pardon me, in the organizations I've been involved with, both on the board and then also various clients of mine as well. So
one of the things that I've been very happy about is it's permeated my whole team, and I'm sure it's permeated a lot of businesses. When businesses give, they I think it has a huge uplift for their entire team. And so, for example, our creative people, Josh Vicklin and Christian Kotzka, I want to make sure that I call them out. They've donated a significant amount of their time creating videos and doing their magic as storytellers and help giving a voice to some of the missions and highlighting, concisely in a beautiful format, some of the challenges or needs that these nonprofits that we work with have.
Right.
Variety, and they've done that with significant excess of their own free time, weekends, whatever, and it's been great to see. I mean, that's what you want to surround yourself with.
And when they create these videos, this content, is that something that could be shown on or is shown on the web or TV kind of thing, or is it predominantly just developed for a larger sign?
Oh no, that in those cases it's definitely social media, it's YouTube, it's Facebook, and then shown at large events.
Gotcha.
And they do incredible work, incredible work. Both of them have a strong creative background. They've both done large scale productions, stuff that has been shown on TV, print, whatever. And I feel blessed, and they're incredibly talented.
That's great. It's good to have, you got to support yourself or surround yourself by a good team to be successful, as I'm sure you've found out.
It's fun. It's what makes time fly.
Yeah.
You want to surround yourself with that energy and just that juice.
Absolutely. We're talking today with Michael Wagener, who's the co-founder and president of Marquee Media Solutions. You're listening Beyond the Numbers. We'll be right back.
triple nickel.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny is that maybe going out to Roseville and then all the way back downtown. Yeah. There's actually for roommate, I got a meeting that I'm looking forward to.
Cool.
So.
Boy, thinking homelessness is such a huge issue throughout the U.S. I can imagine the people right now in the parts of the country that are just under this Arctic chill.
That's actually my cousin in Chicago. I was gonna text him, but I mean, man, what a joke.
It's horrible. And many homeless people there, you can't survive.
Well, that is why we have the issues that we have here, though, just because our climate is so.
Yeah. We're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers, Monday 105.5. I'm your host, Mark Bellows. Michael's getting his mic because he can move around. That's right. Your host, Mark Bellows here. Weekly business talk show. I'm a tax principal, my day job, with Clifton Larson Allen, CLA. You can get a hold of me at 916-784-7800 or mark.bellows@claconnect.com. This 2018 is the tax year that we are now preparing returns for, and that's the first year of all these new tax changes from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So we're starting to see a lot of questions, a lot of stuff on that, and people are starting to see the effect of hopefully a tax cut. It will be for some, and so just hoping that that's the way it's going to be. But if you have questions about all that, please give me a call, 784-7800, or email me, and we can see if we can kind of help you out. So we're talking today with Michael Wagener with Marquee Media Solutions, and just kind of talking about how part of their mission is to support the community being involved. And so mentioned Home Aid and KCCA. You also are going to go tonight to the Roseville Chamber of Commerce installation dinner, right?
Yeah, no, very excited for that. The Roseville Chamber, it's obviously my hometown, and I was talking with you offline. Would like to be more active with that. Most of my activity in Roseville is through the Little League program, but trying to get more involved, and just very, very proud resident of Roseville.
Right. And where's you're in the Roseville or Eureka School District?
Roseville.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a great house that we've been in for many, many years, and my son is able to walk to school and walk home, and feel very blessed. So
it's a great community.
It's a fantastic community.
Yeah, we're in Rockland, but same thing. It's a great community too. My kids, if they were so inclined, could walk to school. They managed to get rides until the point where they could drive. They could have walked. It was close enough. So, but I like you. I've been able to, I was able to coach my girls to the various soccer leagues. I never tried basketball because I'm not a basketball player, so I didn't try. But I did. Not that I'm a soccer player, but at least as they're younger, you can kind of coach them to do that. So I got a chance to do that, be real involved with them and involved with their school and stuff. And so I think it's important to do that. I think it's important, and I want to model that to my kids as well, to see the parents. My wife and I both do this. My wife's very involved as well, but to see the parents really involved in the community and in the family. And so
life is too short. Those are the memories. Those are the moments that are going to leave your mark.
Absolutely, yeah. So what do you see happening with you guys with Marquee? I know we're not no specifics necessarily, but
no worries. No, I'm very proud. It's funny. We've built something good, but we're constantly refining. If you're not constantly honing your practice, honing your systems, I believe that's when you start failing, right? So we feel blessed with what we've already built. We're definitely not satisfied. We have greater ambitions, but we also want to work smarter and not just harder, and make sure we're managing the business. And there's a lot of challenges with that, but it's fun. That's the juice that keeps you going. And by all means, I don't want to stop any of the time, the quality time that we have. You just work harder, work smarter, and when you're off, you spend the time with your family. You spend that time with your nonprofits however you can, and you just keep going.
I forget what your co-founder's name.
Jeff Joaquin.
Jeff. So what organizations is Jeff?
So Jeff is very active. So he's actually got a twins, boy and girl, that are now freshmen at St. Francis and Jesuit.
Oh, okay.
And so it's funny, he's been extremely involved in both of those schools, and then as well really developed a passion for the Sacramento Walk of Stars and several other nonprofits as well. So I don't want to speak for him, but he definitely gives back a ton and is very active in his kids' lives, and they're amazing athletes. And so it's funny, a lot of his weekends are spent going to various cross country or long distance running events, and or skiing or wherever it is. So it's been fun.
Yeah, yeah. Our youngest daughter has been cross country all 4 years in Rockland, so we've done a lot of cross country meets, which are fun.
Lots of people.
Yeah, lots of people.
Yeah.
And it's a neat terrain to watch the kids run and that stuff. So I enjoy that. So what are you thinking about your involvement with KCCA? I mean, have you been getting more involved in that, or?
So I got to give another plug. Carrie Wood with the Regional Community Foundation, Sacramento Regional Community Foundation. She sent me this link to this video that made a huge impact on me. And it basically was about how nonprofits should be run more like a business. You know, sometimes people, it's not just board engagement. It's truly a business.
That was the TEDx talk that you said.
It was.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
Great TEDx talk.
Yeah.
And to me, that's my mission with several nonprofits that I work with. KCCA, I want to highlight just a little bit because, again, it's an organization that there's over 800 kids throughout Northern California that are diagnosed with child cancer each year. In a perfect world, we would have an organization like this that partners with the families, helps them navigate through the process, creates counseling for the families, financial assistance where needed for all 800 kids. Unfortunately, because it is almost entirely privately funded through local grants, local donations, fundraisers of just mom and pops in this community.
No federal or state funds.
No federal or state funds.
It's all local.
And it's every year you start at zero.
Yes.
Every year you're working its way up. That is an organization that we only have the funds to help 150 to 220 families, per year. At most. And it feels like we're shoestrapping it every time. I don't think people understand the needs that are in this community, and if they were aware, the smallest amount of awareness and fundraising from a local level would make organizations like that, and I know there's more of them out there in this community, successful and able to do what they do best.
And if you want, the website for KCCA is childcancer.org.
Yes.
You can go find out more about KCCA, but yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it's we've over the course of the last year or so, KCCA has also been working with hospital in Oakland, so starting to reach that community a bit as well, in addition to the Sacramento community.
Yeah, so UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital in Oakland, great children's hospital that's been around forever. Not forever, but for quite some time. We've had a relationship, but really we wanted to expand those services. Again, it's just a mission that it's a gap that nobody else is filling, and so the more that I could do to support that, and the more that I could do to help raise awareness for an organization like that, make it more sustainable and an organization that's around for the next 23 years, that would mean more than almost anything else.
Yeah, that'd be huge. And I agree with you. I mean, the KCCA provides such a vital need. And some of the examples of the things that KCCA does, for instance, is that when a child gets diagnosed, they'll provide a care, I'm going to say box, but it's
we call it a hope. Yeah, I know
chest.
It's called a hope chest, but and what that does is obviously it's a traumatic experience of being diagnosed, and so it's got a comfort blanket, it's got books and literature that helps with some of the basics of financial counseling.
Personalized stuff for the kid.
For all the siblings as well, and so it just enables the communication to commence and kind of break down those barriers, assess what the family's true needs are. One of the things that I know the organization is extremely proud of is that the success rate, if you could keep a family going to regular maintenance, regular care, regular treatments without missing a week or having delays, the success rate goes through the roof. And so the organization basically figures out what are those pain points. Is it vehicle repair? Is it gas cards? Is it hotel stays? Is it, again, counseling or assistance with the family? Sometimes there are conditions at home, diet, heating and air, all those things that you wouldn't even think about could have a positive or a negative impact on that outcome with those families. And that's where they go above and beyond. It's not just anything that doctors have to focus on the disease. This organization is able to work with the family on everything else that impacts everyone, the siblings, both parents, everything.
Yeah, it's a fantastic mission. Always the organization's always underfunded.
It is.
And every year, to your point, every year we're going back for starting at ground zero in terms of fundraising.
And I think it's just out of sight, out of mind. People don't even realize. I mean, same with the homelessness issue. It seems like a task that is just too daunting, too big to even overcome. But I mean, again, where there's smart people and everybody works together as a community, you know, there's a way.
What is some of the stuff that Homemade is doing?
Homemade has done. It's funny. They kind of joke that they're the best kept secret because so many of these builders are. They're doing so much building in the community already, and they build all the new, like Lennar, for example. You know, they're building hundreds of homes in the greater Sacramento community. Lennar last year did a partnership with St. John's, where they built out and added 90-bed facility to St. John's, which is a program that helps the transition for women and children, and that's it. And a great organization. Yeah. They added 90 beds and state-of-the-art dignified housing. So all of a sudden, this program that is already doing wonders in this community. Significant increased capacity. Sure. They work with Volunteers of America on veterans housing, again for transitions while they're getting their leg up, and families and everything. They've built the only senior safe house west of the Mississippi. I hope that's right. I know it's on the West Coast, but it's for Volunteers of America that's here in this town. So you have, unfortunately, some of the seniors are underserved by even their own family. Yeah. And so those are just a handful of the projects that Homemade has done here in this community.
Well, Michael, it's great that you're involved with that stuff. I really appreciate you being on the show today. Thank you so much for being a guest. Again, it's Michael Wagener with Marquee Media Solutions, 888-MEDIA-10 if you want to call them, or marqueemediaus.com. It's MARQUEE, marqueemediaus.com for the website. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks.